And this is the second race of this finals. Is that correct?
Yeah, Dig Shake won the first race. We are now 1-0. This is the best of 3. So if Dig Shake wins tonight, he's going to take it all. And then if Niram wins, we're going to have another race at a yet to be determined time.
Do you think this is going to go to a game number 3? Do you think Niram can tie it up here tonight?
I want to see more games.
Me too.
That's all I care
Niram's
about.
definitely got the skill and ability. Dig Shake is very strong mechanically wise. Niram, however, is really quick at learning and adapting.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that these players are really experienced players. Like, they understand how to do the basic exploration. They know how to get through palaces, using the standard meta. And it could, once again, come down to Great Palace and just how long and difficult that can be in resource management there and the levels that you enter Great Palace with. We saw in the last race that Dig Shake had 1 extra magic level, which allowed him to cast the fairy spell many more times than Niram could. Which really ended up being the difference maker, because Niram actually showed up first, and Dig Shake was able to make very fast progress through there to catch up and actually win it.
Yeah, a long Great Palace can take you anywhere from 15 to 40 minutes, depending on the layout of the palace, the rooms, how confusing, and where the loops are. So anything's game still up to that point.
Yeah, and it's also one of the places in the game where you have a chance to really do something different from your opponent and gain a lot of ground because of the way that drop pits work in the Great Palace. But we'll get to that when we get there, or at least we'll have a recap of how Great Palace works when we get there. Looks like Niram is readied up, and here they go.
Here they go. Both jumping in unison. Dig Shake has the bubble strike, I believe. Well, Niram has classic beam.
Yeah, so we'll mention that right now, that the beam sprite is something that can be randomized in the game. It doesn't give you any added bonus. It's just strictly cosmetic. We're entering into a cave right now that's called Heart Cave, because in the vanilla version of the game, this is where you would find a heart container. And we know it because even though you can't see without the candle, when you get into one of these caves, the layout of the cave is identifiable. And because there's an enemy right when you walk into the room, you know that this is the heart cave. So we picked up a magic container. So now Dig Shake has 5 magic containers. Each one of those is worth 16 magic points. So when they go to cast spells, when they open up their spell book, you'll see a number cost for how many magic points that spell costs at the particular level. And you can see
right
what
now
level we're at.
They both have 80 magic.
Yes. So this is Saria. This town is one of the 2 towns on the Western continent that has a spell that you can get just by going in and having no other requirements met. Each of the 4 towns has a sage in the basement, which will give you a spell. The town of Ruto and Maido have fetch quests where you have to get either the trophy or the Water of Life. It looks like we got...
Oh, speak of the spell.
Yeah, we got the spell. Spell is not the most helpful spell in the game. What it does is it turns most any enemy on the screen into a blue bot. It can also be used to summon a shrine at the end of New Kasuto, which is where you can get another large item.
And hey, it's castable right now at 72 magic, so at least it's not over 100. You got something they can at least use.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a spell that they can use. I don't expect to see them making a whole lot of use of it at the early stage of the game. What's important to note, especially for the flags that we're playing right now, is that that town is listed in the 3rd position, or that spell is listed in the 3rd position of their spell book. When you play the game in vanilla, the game kind of knows what town you're supposed to go to in what order, and then it lists the spell that you get from that town in that order. So even though the spells are randomized, which spell you get in which town, because of the randomizer, the location is still the same in your spell book. So the spell is in the 3rd position, which means that you need 3 magic containers to acquire that spell, because that function of the randomizer has been selected, that option. So they have requirements for spells. Right now they could cast or they could acquire spells from the first 5 towns, which takes them all the way through Nibiru. In order to get any more spells, they're going to have to gain a magic container.
Yeah, and Dig Shake has removed his handicap right now by finding a heart container. On the other side, Niram ended up finding the the candle on one of the grass tiles. So he
Yeah,
can
so
now see through the dark caves.
yes. And so once we get over to the East Continent, it's probably possible that one of the players can get an item that the other person won't find. But definitely here on the West Continent, they're not going to stop exploring until they find everything that's available. So that's 5 caves with items. The Medicine, Trophy, Heart, Magic, and Peabag Cave, plus an item on the grass tile. And then there's also 2 potential items. Well, there's definitely 2 items on Death Mountain, but we don't know if they'll actually get those. But they're definitely going to find every cave before leaving the West Continent, just because items that, early in the game, you just don't want to pass up anything. And we're going to need to get the glove to break through blocks, which is a required item for the game, the raft to get over to the East Continent, which is required to beat the game, and then possibly 2, or more spell items to get spells for later in the game. So there's no reason to leave West Continent unfinished, I don't think.
Those red Dyras in the swamps are giving both Nirm and Dig some difficulty, especially Nirm, who just took a game over.
But yeah, game overs are pretty common at the beginning of the game here. When you game over, you keep all of the items that you've collected and your magic and attack and all the levels that you've bought, but all of your experience that you hadn't used to buy a level yet gets removed. We saw Digshake was in the Peabag Cave. I didn't see what item he picked up, though. Our tracker hasn't been updated, so I don't know if we have someone on tracking. Did you happen
to catch that either? It might have been a Pete 500 bag if we look at its experience, but
it looks like they're back in the cave, so maybe he died before actually getting the item.
So they're both in here now.
Yeah, so we're talking about levels a whole lot. You can see up at the top of the screen, there's a sword, magic, and life. So Digshake, for instance, is at attack 2, magic 2, life 3. And then, that is the raft.
The raft.
So very required to beat the game. The whole rest of the game is over on the Eastern Continent.
It opens up a whole lot more options to explore. So maybe we'll see their paths diverge a bit more, but we'll see.
So the way people are buying their experience is when you look up at the top of the screen, you see a number and then a slash, and then it says, next. So Nirm, for instance, has 133 experience points out of the experience that is required to buy his next level. You can choose to bypass levels and buy more expensive ones. But once you have enough experience to buy all of the available levels that you have to at least purchase one of them.
There's also the risk that if you die after bypassing a level, you may just miss all your levels entirely if you take a game over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but a common level strategy is to keep your magic and life levels at 3 and 4, so that way you can use the End of Palace gems to get a big boost and buy attack levels. We have here in the Magic Cave the flute, which is...
Thunder for Nirm as well.
So that's one of the required spells. So he is on his way to completing the game. Thunder is required to beat the penultimate boss of the game, Thunderbird. When you cast Thunder, it makes Thunderbird vulnerable to sword strikes in the face. Absolutely required to beat the game.
No, I didn't see if he could use it yet. We'll see next time he pops open his menu if he has enough MP to use the Thunder.
Yeah, not common to... I guess it's not uncommon to be the spell to be at like 64 or something when you start. The spell costs are randomized from where they were in vanilla. Let's see how much this costs. Did not have enough time on Dig
90, so we need another magic jar to be able to cast it.
Mm-hmm. So the spells in the randomizer can be 50% more or less than they were in vanilla at that particular level. So every time you take a level, it re-rolls the spell costs for all of your spells, and they can then cost up or down 50% of what they were in vanilla. Although they would never actually go up. If it would be more expensive, it just stays where it is.
Because I believe in vanilla, Thunder, whichever level you get it, is going to be around 120, 124 maximum MP.
Yeah, it's a very expensive spell. Okay, so we have Nirm going into Palace 2. We were able to...
He is looking to grind some experience right now. He's looking for those drippers.
Absolutely. So a hallmark of Nirm's play is to go into Palace 2, where it's really easy to find these drippers that are pedestals that drip either acid out of them, or sometimes they'll drop a blue bot. But Digshake has made the randomizer randomize the enemy that falls out of the dripper, but it still has the same hit points that the blue bot would have had. So you can sometimes have a 300-point Mago or even more pop out of these drippers, and you can kill him with one slash. So if this is something good, oh my god! So he's going to be
This
having
could be it.
one shot, two shot.
Only 70. Okay, not as much as the 300 they can potentially give, but that's still a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was worth it for him to go in there and basically get up to his kind of regular operating levels for this stage of the game and kind of catch him on experience, but didn't really pay off for him. 70 is not worth hanging around to farm. Plus, Palace 2, you can be glove locked in it. There's also a jump. There's a room in there that really sucks if you don't have the jump or fairy spell, so it's not really a palace you want to go diving into. And in this randomizer flags, we don't have extra keys, so getting through locked doors is going to be problematic. If you don't find a key, you'd have to use the fairy spell, and our players don't have the fairy spell.
So holding off on most palaces might be good until players have a fairy spell or they find a secret key. I could see them jumping into maybe Palace 1, but the other palaces, they might hold off until later.
Yeah, it's also a part of the new meta in this version of the randomizer that the spell items, the items that are required to get spells out of the towns, can now be in the palaces. So palaces being the most time-heavy investments to get spell or to get items, you kind of want to avoid digging items out of palaces at all. So if you can find what you're looking for, all of the required items to beat the game on the overworld, which is much faster, it's good to get that information early. So that way,
Digshake has already gone over to the eastern as quickly as he could, so he's exploring while Nirm is still finishing up on the west.
Yeah, so when we get to the eastern continent, there's a water tile, desert tile, and 2 pea bag caves. We call them pea bag caves because they have pea bags in the vanilla game, but all of those locations have items that you can pick up for free, as long as you can walk on the water tile, of course. There's also Maze Island, which has 2 items available on it, and then 2 more items that are available out of New Kasuto. There's also 4 towns with spells, and including Maze Island, you have 4 more palaces. So a lot of stuff over here, plus a lot of forest encounters and desert encounters where you can find pea bags, which can be oftentimes 500 points. So it's really good to get over there as fast as you can if you just want to kind of grab some experience points.
That was a nice jump by Digshake, nearly avoiding death by getting over the Lizalfos.
I don't know how he did that. that was a miracle. Okay, so Digshake has found the desert tile over on the east continent, and there was a heart container on it. Heart containers are necessary. They're things that we like, but right now they would really much rather, I think, find the boots or maybe the glove. Magic key would be a huge find for one of these guys.
Yeah, both players are pretty comfortable playing at low heart rates. They played a lot of races, so they probably want to find some more items right now, but having the extra heart in the bag, I guess will make the exploring a lot easier and make it feel a lot easier, I guess, going through.
Yeah, it'll make them feel more comfortable. And okay, so here's one of the locations where it could have been a pea bag, but it's just a one-up doll over on Digshake's screen.
Excuse me, Joshy D, it is a little Digshake for the digger.
Yes. Okay, so we don't have the jump spell to get the item out of this encounter that Digshake is in right now. But he's doing a good job of killing these Lizalfos, just doing it the hard way. Probably grinding up the experience to get attack 3. Nirm is now heading over to the east continent himself, so he'll probably be finding all the same items that Digshake has found up to this point. Not a lot of room for route divergence yet in the game. We'll probably see that later when people decide which palaces are going to go into. Okay, Digshake right now is on Maze Island, which is just a whole bunch of road, which has invisible encounters that you can pop into. There'll either be a fight screen, There's 7 fight screens or 2 pits, which drop you into a cave that has an item in it. They're going to be doing...
And he's found the first item, and it is the boots.
Huge
Wow.
fight.
This will allow him to walk on water, and he's already seen the water tower, so he knows where that is, so he can go back and get that item whenever he wants.
In the vanilla game, the boots would let you walk on very specific water only to get to a heart container and a palace, and that was in the ocean. In the randomizer, the boots can walk on any water that's within the bounds of the map, so basically everything. Really useful if you're going into Death Mountain because there's a whole lot of water on the east coast of Death Mountain, and also just getting through these continents. The randomizer has a preference to put a river bisecting the continents horizontally, so being able to cross that without going through a pass-through cave or doing extra encounters is huge. You also can't
I've noticed that Nirm is in Maze Island right now, and he seemed to have missed both heart containers, one on the west, one on the east. We'll see how much that plays into the race, but if he goes back to get them, not that they're really needed for him to progress, but they would certainly help.
Yeah, if he doesn't have them, that's a little bit odd because it's not like he knows that they're heart containers and he's making a conscious decision to go through the game with less health. That just means that he isn't doing quite as thorough of exploration maybe as Digshake is. But
did you see the item that Nirm just picked up?
Nirm picked up the boots as well.
No, I think he picked up the second item, or was that just the boots he just grabbed?
I think he just got those, but I could be wrong, and maybe someone can correct us on that. There's nothing else.
Here he goes. Here's the other item.
Yes. Oh, simultaneously going into this cave. We like that.
Double spoon kill on the Octorok, and they found, well, 3 of the heart containers have been found. I believe there's only 1 more left.
Yeah, it's maximum 7 heart containers with these flags. The other flags that we have going is no extra keys, shuffle encounters, unsafe path encounters, so you can't dodge encounters by just running onto a path. They started without the candle, randomized life and attack levels, and randomized refill on the life spell, which I don't think these players probably used the life spell tons, but if it was cheapened and if it refilled a whole bunch of life, like maybe 4 boxes of health, you could see them using that a whole lot.
They could also refill 1. I believe it refills between 1 and 5. I could be wrong on that.
I think it's 1 and 4 is what Cal has told me in commentary. Oh, look, we have Digshake going into the town of Naburu. This is a town where you can get a spell basically for free. You just have to grab water out of the fountain and give it to the lady. Because he has 5 magic containers, he's allowed to learn this spell. So it would be huge. If this is the reflect spell, that means that without getting any more magic...
Fairy. Okay, jump.
Well, he got jump, which means he can get downstab out of the town of Mido over on the west continent, which is the most powerful of the attack techniques in the game. What it does is when you're in the air and you press down, for every frame that you're pressing down, your sword will be active. So you can either slash it really fast or hold it down to like pogo over the enemies, which is very effective for avoiding enemies on like all of these random encounters they're getting. Yeah. Digshake is popping into another P-bag cave. He's going to get an item out of here.
Diggshake's probably not going to reset and go back for the downstab until he has a reason to pick up items on the western continent. So he's going to try and keep finding as much as he can while he's here.
Yeah, if he gets the water of life or the trophy, we'll probably see him go over there just to kind of finish out.
Even the hammer, like he just picked up, might lead him back there, but he's still got a few more things to find, so he'll keep going. He wants to find the remaining towns where he can get free spells from.
Well, he can't get any more, can he? Because he doesn't have the magic to get them.
He's at 5 magic right now?
Yeah, so he got enough. So he can't, like, our players can't get the spell out of New Kasuto here. If they have enough magic containers, which they would need 6, that lady there would have given them an item.
So you need 6 magic containers for New Kasuto and 7 for Old Kasuto? Or is it 7
7
for
would be Darunia. No, 6 would be Darunia.
Okay, 6 Darunia, 7 for new Kasuto, and all 8 for old Kasuto. Is that correct?
Yes. But they do have the spell, so they're able to go here into this shrine and pick up an item.
The trophy.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That's a pretty good one.
Niram immediately going back. Did Niram pick up the jump spell, or did?
I don't think so.
If this is not fair, you might regret that a little bit going back so early, but this is Rudo right here.
Yeah, so we should mention what he did there. Niram did something called up A, which is to pause the game and hit up and A on the second controller. That forces a game over, which, if you're anywhere besides a palace, will take you to the starting palace over on the west continent. You forfeit whatever experience you haven't spent, just the way a normal game over would do. If you do it in any of the palaces, you're able to restart at that palace. We have the life spell out of Ruto.
I don't know how that red bat hit Dig Shake. He had it completely stunned. It was probably the invisible Moa which hit him and killed him in there on that screen.
Yeah, so the invisible enemies that are flying around are called Moas. If you find the cross item, they will become visible. And a lot of people don't like the cross, but it can really save your life.
I'm really happy whenever I find the cross. That's a life usually or two in the final dungeon, or at least exploring on the east.
Okay. I thought we saw someone going into Death Mountain, but it looks like I was wrong.
Well, Niram is making use of his boots right now, but I don't know if Niram has the hammer, so he can't make as much. Can't find all the additional things on the west that Dig Shake might be able to now that he has the hammer.
Yeah, so if you're in Death Mountain and have the hammer in the boots, chances are you're going to be able to grab 2 items with not very much time investment. If you only have the boots and not the hammer, you can only get 1 item, even though you can explore Death Mountain a little bit faster. So it's a calculation of when is a good time to check out Death Mountain, depending on like what items are still missing and how fast you think you can do it based on the equipment that you have at the time.
I think Niram is looking for that last item cave he missed, which Dig Shake found, which has a heart container in it. So he's probably not going to be too happy if he spends a lot of time to find that.
No, he won't be happy. So they have the hammer, which is kind of a non-issue right now. On the west continent, there's 1 road boulder, and then there's also 0 to 2 boulders that could be blocking item caves. It looks like there wasn't any boulder blocked item caves.
I saw 1 boulder blocked item cave on the west. I'm not sure.
Oh, did you really? Okay.
Yeah, I definitely saw 1.
All right, well then, yeah, if he has the hammer, then that's a good reason to go looking for that. And so he'll be a little bit ahead of Dig Shake, although Dig Shake will check that cave eventually, unless he gets to the point where he might check it and already has all the items that he needs.
Yeah, what Dig Shake, I guess, wants to find right now is the glove most of all.
Yes.
Glove and additional magic containers to get more spells.
Someone in chat mentioned glove, but they might have been talking about another race. Oh, so no, he got the glove. It's just not on the. It's just not on the tracker. So,
where did he find the glove? Was it?
Yeah, everyone's just saying he got it, but I don't know.
We both missed it. But if he has the glove right now, he's almost.
It was the old lady. It was the lady in New Kasuto, which Niram went there and he had 1 less container. Oh, that's a stupid River Devil. He's doing not putting in any work there. All right, so we got that.
Well, having that glove almost puts Dig to full Dig Shake mode. He is going to be hurrying through right now, trying to cash in, I believe, his last spell items, and then he's probably going to go right into dungeons or Death Mountain.
No one was able to get the spell out of New Kasuto because he didn't have the magic container requirements.
Mm-hmm.
But the trophy was in the shrine at the end. So the glove is necessary to break blocks in palaces. There can be blocks that are blocking pathways. And if you have the glove, your sword is able to break the blocks. It's something that is 99% required, but with full Great Palace, you're definitely going to need it. And it's one of the things that is preventing players from wanting to go into some of these palaces, besides just not having a way to open doors right now. We don't have the magic key or the fairy spell.
Digshak's about to pick up his life spell in Rudo here. And I assume he's probably going to go look for Death Mountain after this.
I mean, they're going to... Well, I think that he wants spell items right now, and he wants magic containers because he doesn't have fairy or reflect, and nor does he have any way to get them. So I think that's the highest priority thing right now. They can start going into... Well, the game will never force players to go into a palace without having some way of getting either the fairy spell or the key. So Digshake, knowing that, is probably looking for magic containers and spell items. I mean, he's just looking for whatever he can find. He's checking out this... Oh, no, Niram's checking out the water tile right now.
Let's see. Did he go back to check out the water tile? Or, okay, here
he's going for it right now. There's the magic key. Okay, so we can do palaces now.
Could be a blessing or a curse in disguise, because if the required item isn't Death Mountain, that could put them off of it for a while.
Yeah, but they'll at least be able to make progress right now, because there's no reason why, with the glove, downstab, and the key, Digshake can't do almost any palace. There's only a couple fairy required rooms in any of these palaces, and he just can't do 4 because he can't beat Karak. But now is a pretty good time to be going into palaces, especially if he's going into palace 3 or 6, because the item is in the same direction of exploration as the boss. 4 is not really a good choice right now because he can't beat Karak. Otherwise, he might go looking for Death Mountain because he has the ability to get the 2 items pretty quickly.
Now, has Dig gone back to Mido and gotten the downstab for himself? Or is he still looking for Mido?
Oh, he probably wants to go to Mido, but no, he's going towards a palace. He doesn't... I don't think he has downstab.
Well, there's Palace 2. He can go in there right now, and he is going in there right now.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not? Oh, he was checking to see if it was 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the boulder blocked cave. Let's see what's in here.
I guess he'd rather find all the easy items before he starts trying to look for the item in Palace 2, because Palace 2 does have a lot of rooms and can cost you a lot of time if you're trying to look for the item when you don't need it.
Yeah, the dream is to be able to go into a palace and completely ignore the item, just kill the boss and get out. Digshake definitely doesn't have the downstabber. He'd be using it on some of these guys.
Is this Palace 1 for Niram right now?
It definitely could be. This room is reused in like every damn palace, so...
I think it's Palace 1.
Yeah, because that statue didn't have a jar, so it's probably 1. I think there's one of those statues in Palace 5 this is Palace 1 for sure. So Palace 1 is small enough that going left to find the item is really not too much of a time sink. If you were going to pick any palace to go into looking for an item, this would be the one to do. I think the only trouble, or the only reason why this palace kind of stinks is that it's hard to get enough experience to cross your thresholds and get an attack level off of Horsehead, but
their magic and life levels are pretty low.
They are pretty low, and that's certainly
that hard to get past before the boss.
Okay, magic container is it's an unusually big find because it unlocks a spell. That's in most games you wouldn't really care about that, but getting an extra magic container is humongous right now. Yeah, I think most players when they play the game casually don't even know about the magic requirement, except maybe that you need 8 to get the Thunder spell. I don't think people are aware that that's a thing for every level because the game kind of forces you to find some of these containers.
Alright, give me 1 second. I just have to move something over. I'll be right back.
No problem. Yeah, Magic Container would be bigger if Niram had found the other one, but knowing that it's in Palace 1, which is a place where probably Digshake's going to check, because he's still missing containers and spell items. That's, it's going to really help unlock this game. But I think that since when players are racing this game usually, and the most experience that these players have is probably playing the game without the magic container requirement. So it might not be something that they're thinking about a whole lot when making decisions, and hopefully they are. Yeah, Dig Shake is in Palace 2 right now. It's something he's going to have to do eventually. It's kind of a big palace, so looking for the item is going to take a little bit of time here, but he can definitely do it. And it's if he was near Palace 1, I think he would have chosen that one. But if he happened to walk into Palace 2 anyway, why not? Oh, so Palace 1 was on Maze Island. I didn't realize that. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. This room totally sucks without jump or fairy, because making it up these okay, good, they have jump. Yeah, making it up these crumble bridges right there without the jump or fairy spell is a nightmare. Ooh, and it was required for the item. So good thing he had jump there. Let's see what the item out of Palace 2 is. All of the magic containers, guys. We're okay. We're okay.
I'm back. Did I miss anything? All the magic containers?
Yeah, Palace 2 has a magic container as well. So they're all accounted for at this point. We're going to have no trouble getting spells by the end.
Now, Niram didn't find the hammer, which is required for one of the magic containers, so he's going to have to do some running around to get his last one.
Yeah, if he doesn't happen to get all of his required spells before that, because unless Reflect is in Old Kasuto, he won't actually need it. But he's not going to feel comfortable until he finds all of them. This is a 2 out of 3 match. Dig Shake is 1 game up on Niram at this point. I kind of don't know. So if Niram feels like he's behind, then going into Palace 4 and finding the item out of here, even though he can't beat the boss, could set him ahead a little bit.
And we're about to find out.
It's a curious play. What is it?
Not the item he wanted. Will
No.
you take the level? You might take both levels here. Oh, he only gets 1.
So unless he somehow has Reflect and we don't know about it,
Or are you just trying to kill this guy and get a level? No, he's...
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
You can just cast Thunder on that blue knuckle.
Yeah, he probably could. The cross is in the flags, but we haven't found the cross yet. Yeah, Niram is short on spells, and so he definitely was going for that attack level. He's up-ang to go over to Western Hyrule. Now, it looks like Dig Shake is far ahead, and he is. Like, there's no doubt about it. But the way that late game exploration can go, if an item is missing, and then they have to start making weird decisions on where to look for items, and of course, Great Palace being such an equalizer, in particular if you have different levels than your opponent. So there's lots and lots of room for the lead to shift.
Now, Dig Shake has been pretty thorough in his exploration. He's found almost everything on the overworld, I believe, and he's only missing a handful of items in the palaces and Death Mountain. So I believe it'll be more so with the palaces if he chooses to look for the items in, say, 5 or not.
Yeah, I think Dig Shake is doing whatever he can to avoid having to do that, because he's done very thorough and very good exploration of the overworld. Going into 4 was a setback, and Niram was already kind of behind. So we're in Palace 3 or 6 right now. I think this is 3. I can't remember which one has the item on those block shelves there. This is definitely... No, we don't actually know yet until the heads spawn or don't spawn.
Palace 3.
Yeah, we're in Palace 3. This room can be really tricky if it has those sine wave unicorn heads in here ready to knock you into the pits. Luckily not the case. This is kind of a nice palace to find if you don't have the magic key, because like both of those P bags could be keys potentially. So if you have downstab in the glove, you can kind of scoop some keys out of here.
Now, Nier needs the glove, I believe, from the old lady in Nukasudo, and I believe he's assuming you can get through Palace 2 without it. I don't know if you can get to the boss or the item, but hopefully you can get to at least one of them.
I think he can get to the item. I don't recall what the trek to the boss was. Not having the glove is so it's a little difficult to get blocked for both things in Palace 2. Even without the glove, you could probably make it through this palace, but man, it just really stinks that he didn't have the containers when he
doesn't even have downstab, so he has to jump over those blue knuckles to get by them, which is not easy.
No. Okay, so we saw a Rebanek fight, over on Digshake's screen. What he did is a pretty well-known strategy to stand on a particular place in the room and pogo over Rebanek as he charges through, and then jump on his head in the corner, which lets you just stab him to death in a very quick way. And he executed that.
Digshake going back for experience to grind?
Digshake will grind if it's 50 points. He doesn't like doing it, but I mean, come on. Like he's gonna be able to maintain his leveling scheme, whatever it is, for a pretty small investment to go back for one enemy. I think he might not have done it if it was more than 50.
He could have taken probably attack 6 there, but decided that he's going to want both the magic and a life level here.
Yeah, so maybe attack 5 is actually pretty good, because attack can be pretty. It is randomized.
It was really weak at the beginning of the run, but now they seem to be having a lot better time getting through things.
Yeah, so I know that these players are pretty comfortable going through the late game with low attack levels. You tend to kill less things as you get deeper into the game, and so really your attack level is mostly going to be a time difference on boss fights like Barba and Guma and Thunderbird. But since it is Long Great Palace, if they don't have a cheap fairy spell to just avoid enemies, they might be killing some things, and having more attack could be useful. But
yeah, sometimes those chickens are almost unavoidable unless you kill them.
Mm-hmm. But what we do know is that if Digshake is taking levels just as they come in, he's also taking time to kill things and pick up P bags. He's going to make it to at least attack 6, which should be fine. And I think staying alive and having magic in a Long Great Palace is the greater priority, because you can do things to avoid having to kill stuff at all. But having access to more magic and cheaper magic is, at least the last game between these two showed, is a huge.
So here's what I'm talking about with Nirm right now, not having the down stuff. He has to get by 2 blue knuckles and a red knuckle right behind that second one. And they hurt.
This is hard. It's unfortunate. Oh my god. So Digshake, his decision to go back into Palace 3, or I should say go deeper into Palace 3 to find the item, has really paid off, because he got the child, which is the item required to get the spell out of Darunia over on the East continent. He has enough containers to be able to get that spell, so that was a really good find. Digshake now popping into, I'm guessing this is Palace 6. I didn't see what why not? He's doing good. He wants to clear out West Continent and never have to come back here if he doesn't have to.
Digshake does not have the fairy spell, so that might prevent him from completing Palace 6 or getting very far, so that could cost him some time.
It could. It definitely could. There is a fairy required room. With the amount of pits and other ways to kind of loop around and not have to take that room, it could just take him a lot longer in his exploration. He could absolutely be blocked from completing it. But of all the palaces, like this one has a lot of different ways around, and chances are pretty good that even if he was blocked, he would be able to find another way through. But that is a good point, Colleen.
There are 2 fairy block rooms, I believe, in Palace 6. So...
Oh, there's 2?
There's the room with the fire in it, which you have to cast fairy to go over, and there's the fairy pit room where sometimes you have to cast fairy to get into that pit, unless you land on the ceiling or very accurately land into that fairy hole.
Yeah, absolutely right. I forgot about that. Oh, Niram going into Death Mountain without the hammer, though. What? How did he?
But listen to this. If Niram finds the medicine in Death Mountain right now, and it contains a required spell, that could save him a lot of time here.
Yeah, he can get some of his time back. I guess I'm just kind of curious, and you know, Niram, if you watch this back, it's not a criticism. I'm just wondering, like, what did Digshake do in exploration?
He found both item caves on the east. One of them containing the hammer, and the glove from the old lady Nukasuto, which has allowed Digshake to go through all the palaces.
Yeah, and he
is missing those 2 critical items.
Yeah, he was in Nukasuto. He hadn't found the magic container yet. So it's just unfortunate that because of basically overworld exploration, Niram is arriving at items in a different order than Digshake has, and it's costing him. Because if
he must feel he's behind right now if he's going into Death Mountain without the hammer, or well, perhaps.
Yeah, because I mean, the time invested in going to Death Mountain, he's getting half the reward available. Because he can only get one of the 2 items that's here, so it's just a less tempting decision, and it's more investment for half the game, or the same investment for half the game. And
in P6, I believe the cross was found for Digshake.
Yeah,
so now he won't have any problem with those invisible enemies. Not that he should with 7 heart containers, but always helps.
Dude, if there's a big swamp over on the East Continent and it has lava encounters, like, you could game over really easily. If you don't, because he doesn't have the fairy to save himself from falling in a pit. So Cross is still a decent-ish item.
Or if you're jumping over those lava encounters and get hit by an invisible mole, fall into the lava, that would be bad too.
Yep. Yeah, and unfortunately, the boots are not being as helpful as they could be. Oh, hey, we do have the Hammer Shrine. So this
is Niram's crutch moment here. He really needs to find the medicine in here if he's going to get anything.
Yeah, man. If this is a 1-up, or I don't know what other troll item it could be at this point.
A magic jar?
He could use that, honestly.
No, I mean, not a container, a jar.
Oh, the red jar. Oh my god. Yeah, he'd be very, very sad. But for the sake of competition, man, I hope this is the reflect spell item.
Me too. So chat, give your hope and luck to Niram right now. Come on!
Oh, we got one of those bouncy cats.
It is the medicine!
Oh my god!
That might be the only thing right now that's holding Niram in place.
Oh, this just turned pretty exciting. I mean, Digshake will go looking for this eventually if it's something good, but it is gonna make him spend more time in the palaces. That when Niram starts doing palaces, he'll do less exploration for items in there, probably. Oh, but Digshake's going into Death Mountain anyway, so really,
how much time did it save? We'll find out after Dig goes through here. He's gonna grab the item under the boulder for sure right now.
Yeah.
And that might be a little dig.
Oh, yeah, that's a bootleg item.
Yep, the small P bag.
Dang. So unfortunately for Niram, unless Digshake...
Oh, Digshake just...
Oh, crap.
Okay.
I was assuming that Digshake was going to spend equal time in there, and that was going to negate any gains that Niram had just got.
He's probably going to check the towns first on the east for the spells he can get right now and find out if he can get one of the required spells he needs. Because we still don't know. Like, in Mido right now, this could be an important spell. It could also be a useless spell almost.
Yeah, hopefully it's at least fairy, so that way he
He
can
needs
get
fairy
down
reflect.
stab.
He gets the reflect spell.
Well, that's what he needed. So that's keeping him in the race. Like it's still gonna be tough, but that helps. That definitely helps. So now, almost well, but here's the other thing is that they're gonna want fairy before they go into Great Palace, I assume, because there's a couple rooms that there's at least one big room that you need fairy for.
I could see Dig Shake 100% in the seat if he decides to go back into Death Mountain last. He's already on the east. He's probably going to go through all 3 palaces over there while he can. And look for the items while he's doing it, because he knows he's missing a critical spell right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so it's not like Niram gets to stop looking in palaces for items, because he still doesn't have the glove and he still doesn't have the fairy spell. So he's probably what Niram really needed this to do was.
But Niram has one advantage. If he goes to New Kasuto right now, he grabs the glove. Well, he's already got the reflect spell. He's got a magic key, so he could probably just run through each palace right now and just. I'm not sure where the fairy spell is going to be, but he might not even try to grab the fairy spell if he's behind, unless it's just given to him in Darunia.
Well, that's true.
He can't get that.
But yeah, so if he has to stop looking for items in palaces if he wants this medicine to be the deal breaker, or to be the catch-up.
Yeah. Because he has to reflect, he knows it might be possible to beat the game without fairy, so he might just go for it.
Oh, so
Dig Shake right now knows he absolutely needs reflect, so he's going to have to search for every single item in the game until he finds the item in Death Mountain to get him reflect.
Yeah. So Dig Shake, he's from St. Louis. He's the first in flight. He has the fairy spell. That's good. I assume that's what he got out of Darunia, because he was just in Darunia. And he got upstab, looks like. So yeah, I mean he's in really good shape. And honestly, these palaces could end up not taking tons of time finding the items. So but he is definitely going to be looking for everything, because he can't stop at this point, because he doesn't have reflect.
And there's the final magic jar for Dig Shake, bring him up to 8. So now he knows he can get the last spell in Old Kasuto.
Oh, it's the Spirit of St. Louis. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Well, yeah, Dig Shake is he was living in St. Louis. There we go. We can all laugh at the commentator. Okay, so we have Dig Shake. Did he grab so he grabbed the magic container as the item of Palace 1. He has all of the magic containers. He can get any spell that he wants, as long as he has, except for the one that's hidden behind the medicine. And then our boy Niram is going to fight Karok, which is a Wizro boss that you have to reflect. Yeah, you have to reflect the magical beams back at him to kill him. So that's why this item is so. We've been talking about it being required for so long, and didn't actually say why.
But Dig Shake will take out Horsehead. Is it 4 strikes? Niram still does not have that down stab almost 50 minutes into the run.
That's crazy.
But
what he's doing right now is he's taking damage so that he can die and get his magic back, so that he can cast the reflect spell. So what was okay, so yeah, it was Palace 1 that was on why Dig Shake was at Maze Island.
Now here's the thing, if you're Dig Shake, do you go into Palace 4 and look for the item, assuming it could be the medicine? Because Dig Shake might do that just as Nirm did as well.
He could. I mean, it's it's not a huge palace, so it's a place
But he
to
will
find
likely probably go into Palace 5, and that could cost Dig Shake a lot of time if he goes through all the rooms in Palace 5 looking for the item.
Yes, absolutely. So Dig Shake is hoping that Old Kasuda right here has the reflect. So he's checking that right now. I wonder if he'll look for. He'll probably go into Palace 5 to find the item before going to Death Mountain, just because he has to go into Palace 5 anyway.
And even though you find it on the way to the boss.
Exactly. So even though the item is on the left, you
never know where Palace 5. Usually the item and the boss are on opposite sides of the palace. Sometimes you could run all the way. There's a lot of elevators, I believe, like 7 or something like that. So
yeah. So even though like you're going to the right looking for the boss, you'll be forced left at some point and can probably find the item. So what are the guys are just on the overworld right now, so I'm trying to figure out what everyone's doing.
Nirm is finally back here. He is about to pick up his gloves. And oh, he's only got 6 magic turns, so he can't get the spell here actually, but he can get the glove.
What was the spell out of here? Was it jump?
I think so. Yeah, I think the spell was jump in here.
Well, he uppaid. So now, if he has the glove now.
Oh no, it's going to be fire because neither player had 7 magic tears when they first got here.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Sorry, I thought that.
Shake was not very happy to find that fire spell.
Oh yeah, does anyone see his webcam?
No longer linked to any other spell in this stage of the tournament. Oh, you don't need to see Dig's webcam to know that he was not happy. You can just imagine the face.
Yeah, because he is just looking all over the place. So here are the lava encounters that are very dangerous without the fairy spell. But we have the fairy spell now, so it's very easy to get knocked into the pits by all those flying enemies. And if the encounter is dark and you can't see the MOAs, it's just a.
So for the 3rd time, Nirm is coming back to Palace 2. This time he has the glove, and I believe he's going to grab the item while he's here to find the 7th magic container.
Yeah, so is Dig Shake, is he the first person to actually go into Palace 5 here?
Yes, I believe Dig Shake is the first. Maybe Nirm peeked in to see which palace it was.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't recognize this. Oh, we should mention that
no one's gone a single room into Palace 5.
Yeah. So the palaces, you wouldn't ordinarily be able to tell the palaces by the color if this was a vanilla game, but they have shuffled tile sets and colors so that you can't just tell what palace you're in. It also adds a little bit of variety. So that's why we have this kind of mustardy, green, yellow, sort of ugly color of Palace 5 right now. Apologies if people are loving the color. I don't think it's all that attractive right now.
So Dig Shake is choosing to take the lefts as he finds them because he really does want to find the item in here, I guess, before he leaves. So he is most likely going to grab the item in here before going to Death Mountain, regardless of how long it takes.
Yeah, he's already here, and you don't want to have to come back here, which is why it's a little bit curious if you're already in Death Mountain. The small chance that you might have to come back and redo any amount of exploration. Backtracking is expensive in this game. So, you're in the palace, you're missing an item, you might as well look for it. If you're on Death Mountain and you already got one of the items and you're missing a bunch of stuff, you might as well go looking for it. Yeah, some people think this is pea soup. I enjoy mustard. I just don't think that this palace looks all that great.
No, I don't believe Dig Shake finished P6, Jake Hoper. He might have been
didn't fight
fairy
Barba.
blocked from getting through, yeah. I didn't see him fight Barba.
I don't know why he didn't fight Barba.
Maybe he got blocked or missed or spent a lot of time and decided to go somewhere else.
He might have not had fairy at that point and thought that like he found the item going any further, it's a very good chance that he would get fairy blocked.
So he will have to go back to Palace 6.
He has some exploration advantage, but when you do so much stuff in a seed, it's hard to know how much of an exploration advantage something that you did 20 minutes earlier.
Did find the item in Palace 6, so that's probably one of the reasons why he left too. It was the cross. So he's going to save that one until last, I believe. So he will complete Palace 4, 5, and Death Mountain before he goes back there.
Yeah, so since he found the item, they're making a good point in the chat that like at attack 4 or 5 that he had, Barba would have taken a really long time. So there was like
no, Barba doesn't take very long at attack. Once you have attack 4, Barba will go down pretty quickly. It might take an extra cycle or so, but these players can kill him really fast. You can get about 5 to 8 hits on him every time he comes up.
But if you consider that with the also fairy potential block and having to backtrack down whatever long path he might have gone to get the item, there's a lot of... You're building a pretty strong case for just coming back later. Because if he was going to up A anyway to save his backtracking from finding the item...
I don't think the fight of Barba, how long that would have taken, would have been the influencer on his decision, though. It would have been getting to Barba.
Yeah, it wasn't like, someone the other day, it might have been Nirm, fought Barba at like attack 2, and it took 3 minutes, which 3 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but in game, man, it feels like forever.
It does.
So there is a big difference between attack 5 and attack 2. Oh no, you don't have fairy.
No fairy.
Dude, did you see he thundered the Stalfos?
I'll take you with me. But I think that Stalfos is coming back. I don't think he got the credit kill for it, or did he? Okay.
Maybe.
It looks like he got the credit kill for it.
No, it must have been that. Or no. So when you kill an enemy, even if you see the experience come up, if it doesn't start ticking, if your experience points don't start ticking, it doesn't actually count as a kill that you get credit for. If you're killing like an enemy right as you're leaving the screen, you actually won't get the points for it.
But the moment once it starts counting a single point for you, you will get all the points and you can carry on to the next screen.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So we have a boss here. We have this is our Rebanak fight. So you can see setting up
without the downstab.
Oh my gosh, this is great. Now Nirm, I've seen Nirm fight Rebanak without downstab a number of times. He knows ways of getting multiple hits per pass on Rebanak, but this is definitely like the more difficult way to do it. And you can't set up the corner strat when you do it that way.
He does dispatch him fairly well, and he will be moving on.
Yeah, I think that's something that, once you learn how to do it, it's not like it's the most high-level strat in all of Zelda 2, but it's something that nobody knows until they start playing Randomizer, because you're gonna have downstab. Like, the game really, really wants you to have downstab in vanilla.
Dig Shake is still exploring Palace 5, so you can see that how long Palace 5 is compared to Palace 3 right now. Dig Shake has gotten in before Nirm into Palace 5, and Nirm looks like he's going to finish before Dig leaves his palace.
Yeah, so if Nirm goes into Palace 5 and doesn't have to look for an item, stands a chance of making up some time here. Although Dig Shake also hasn't run into Guma, so if Guma and the item are near each other, there's still a chance that he'll spend the same amount of time. But this is one of the places where he could pick up some of the time that I think it's very fair to say he's lost already. Because, yeah, Dig Shake has taken all of the lefts.
Yeah, the boss is probably right to the right there, and the item could be right here to the left. And yeah, there's the item. He's explored almost all the rooms, so it can't be much left.
Yeah, if it's if Guma, oh jeez, if
Well, we
Guma,
knew it was coming, the little dig there, but for Dig Shake, that's a bit of a disappointment, but it will lead him right to the boss. The boss should just be around the corner here, or pretty close by.
yeah, unless Dig Shake ignored like a really early right turn, and if that's the case, that's where
Oh,
Niram.
I'm pretty sure he's thoroughly explored every other route. He hasn't gone this way yet.
Okay.
Yeah, here's the boss.
Yeah, so I don't know, like there is a chance that Niram won't make up tons of time on this unless this was down like a right branch anyway. But it's really hard to memorize how Dig Shake has been going through this palace.
Dig Shake is just tanking Guma, just exchanging blows with him. He doesn't care. He's got lots of life and shield. And Guma goes down.
So Buzz Thunder is predicting that Dig Shake will do Palace 4 before Death Mountain. Let's see.
Yeah, he's only got one of those two decisions left, so for the item.
It might be strictly geographical. So like once he gets out of this,
He'll make his decision.
You know, if he's
closer.
Yeah, I can't remember where his palace is. He's
did you see that swamp tile in the middle of the mountain, just above the palace there?
I did see that. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So even though the randomizer rebuilds a whole new overworld, there will always be a Valley of Death with tiles surrounding a palace and some varying length of lava tube going into it. A whole new world, Zarnax.
So Dig Shake is going into Palace 4 right now, and so he will grab the item out of here and then be forced to go back into Death Mountain.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he's got left.
This is Niram's only chance to catch up right now, though, between the time that Dig Shake is in here and going to Death Mountain, so... But Niram is not far behind. He's catching up.
He's doing stuff. I mean, you can see, like...
This is where Niram gets his jump spell, where he finally gets the down stab. Right? Yep.
Yeah, so now he'll finally be able to get down stab. It's amazing.
Only an hour into the run.
He's done so much stuff for not having downstab or fairy. You know, this is really great. So it's, you know, we've been talking about how he's pretty far behind, but like the number of gems that he's placed and the fact that Dig Shake does have to go to Death Mountain, this is not looking quite as dire as we thought. Now, that could all change again because like Dig Shake just did a really long P5. If Niram also has, you know, a 10-minute P5, that could bounce it back. But this is looking better.
Niram is about to pick up the hammer he missed, and he's probably going to be disappointed that he missed the hammer that was right here all along.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to send him back to grab a magic container. And I'm not sure where the kit was. I think it was... Do you remember where the kit was found?
The kid was in a palace, I thought. I swear I saw the kid sitting on one of those item pedestals. Could be wrong. There's been a lot of stuff happening. Oh my god, Dig Shake. Finding the P-back. Oh man.
Yep, realized he's been bamboozled now. Going right back to Death Mountain. He's going there quick.
Although, like, looking at the timer, they're only an hour in. You know, it seems like this could be a place where a player would feel like they've made a mistake and they lost a little bit of time. Hard to feel like you've lost too much time, you know, having to go back to Death Mountain right now. So I'm hoping this doesn't shake him up too much.
Well, there's also the fact that I said Great Palace could take anywhere between 20 and 40 minutes depending on the layout of the rooms, the layout of the enemies if you die while going through, or if you get confused, caught in loops, or set back. So at this point, it still really is anyone's race.
Yeah, lots and lots of ways to gain or lose time in Great Palace. While our players are just doing a little bit of exploration, I do want to mention some pre-game comments that we heard from the players. When asked by Dig Shake if he had any comments, he said, "Thank God I won the first one," which I think
Yeah,
just
brings back memories of the last tournament, right? Where he won the first match against Unos and then lost in the second round match. So
yeah, it also takes a little bit of pressure off this because he's still going to play his hardest. But if he makes a mistake, it's not all over.
he knows he has one more game.
Yeah, Nirm has to win. He absolutely has to win. And his pre-game comments was, "Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. I am the cream, and the cream will rise to the top."
Did he really say that?
He said that.
Oh wow.
He went Hogan on us, saying that he's the cream that will rise to the top.
Oh yeah.
So thank you very much, gentlemen, for those comments. All right, Nirm, pick up the fire spell.
Yeah. Nirm is going to look to cash in that child and get the last spell, which is, I believe will be the fairy spell for him, and then he will knock off the last two palaces.
Yeah, Cooling, everyone's calling you out that you did a Macho Man impression instead of a Hogan.
Yeah, I caught that late. I did that Randy Savage.
That's good, though.
I am not a professional wrestler commentator. Do not blame me for that.
Dig Shake is using the fairy spell in Palace 6. So, if this was required, this might have been one of the reasons. Oh, don't start busting me on the Spirit of St. Louis business. Come on, guys, I tried. If that was required, then that's something that could have definitely made his decision to not finish this palace when he was first here make that a good decision.
So did Dig Shake go back into Death Mountain and find the medicine, or is he just going to complete Palace 6 while he's here? I did not see if he went through the Hammer Cave and grabbed the medicine yet.
No, I didn't see him do that, but...
So maybe this was on the way. He has all the things he needs to complete Palace 6. We might as well complete this and leave the medicine till last.
Yeah, Dig Shake is someone who has a really keen sense of routing. Like, he knows where things are geographically, and he'll try to do as little backtracking between continents as possible. So if he knew that he was on the continent where this palace was, or if it was just on his way, he would have no hesitation to jump in here, even if he knows
that has a lot of health.
Oh yeah,
just hit him 7 times and didn't even take off one single bar at attack 5. So
yeah,
max health Barba here.
Yeah, the bars are dropping now. Bosses can have randomized health in this game. One of the many features that you can choose for your randomization. Did we mention earlier that the fire spell that our players picked up and it was so useless that...
Yeah, I mentioned that Dig Shake is going to be disappointed because he can't even use it for anything but fire.
Yeah, earlier in the tournament, that spell was linked with another spell to give you another chance to maybe have it cast one of the required spells.
Look how dark that pedestal is. You can't even see it unless it shines on Dig's screen.
Life 7. So, I mean...
Dig Shake has Death Mountain and Palace 4 to find, and he also has to return to Mido. Nirm right now has to hunt down Palace 5 and 6.
So, I mean, Dig Shake still seems to be in the lead. I mean, all kinds of things can happen.
It all depends on how long... It shouldn't take him too long to find the item. I believe the item cave was out in the open. On the north side, you just have to go in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see how long it takes him to find it.
Yeah, so Death Mountain, it's just a whole bunch of caves. They are There's one entrance, and there's a couple of caves that have 4 entrances, but basically you go into one cave and then you pop out another entrance somewhere in Death Mountain. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not like if you go into a cave that's facing towards the left, you'll pop out on the left. You can't look at the map and have it tell you any useful information about where you go.
Is the downstab required to complete Palace 6 or the Great Palace? It helps, but right now I would have been happy just to see Nier complete the race without even grabbing the downstab. He's already completed Palace 3 and everything else. He knows he's in a rush and a bind right now with everything else.
I mean, that's a risky play, though. I mean...
Yeah, there are some rooms in Great Palace, now that I think about, where you require the downstab to go through, but that would be an interesting choice.
It would be a very interesting play, in knowing that you're going into full Great Palace against Dig Shake.
It's not like you're going into Great Palace without the glove, and hoping on him wishing on a star there, but it certainly is a gamble.
So what Dig Shake's going to be doing right now is he only needs to pop his head into these doors. So once he gets to an area, he's going to look in each cave, see if it's the Hammer Shrine, and if it's not, he'll try all of the caves available, and then pick one, go through it, and then check everything else that's available to him. Dig Shake's actually pretty good at mapping in his head. Like, he recognizes certain caves that are linked. So if he's seen one end of them, then he won't go through that cave, and he'll pick another cave.
It helps when you have the candle too. Not having the candle makes that a lot more difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult anyway, and I think it's one of the highest levels of randomizer skill is being able to somewhat map Death Mountain in your head.
Yeah, even mapping the 4 Eastern Extension caves, a lot of people have difficulty in knowing which one is the 1 screen cave, which ones are the 2 screen caves, and which ones have the enemies in there or not.
Yeah,
like, they know which ones have the items in them now recently because of the recent patch. Before, most players didn't even know which ones had the items in them.
Yeah, because the items are in a couple of those caves is really the only reason why we know them. So imagine that problem times 10, and then you have Death Mountain.
Right.
So I don't think any of us remember exactly how long Niram spent in Death Mountain, so it's going to be tough to judge.
He didn't spend very long. Maybe, he did find the Hammer Cave pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. Maybe about 5 minutes he spent.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like Dig Shake might be spending more time in here than he did, but...
I don't remember Niram going through any more than 1 or 2 caves to find Hammer Cave.
Oh, someone's saying that Niram got it instantly and was out. So this is saving him time now, which is what he needed. So that's very good.
That's what I said. I thought it was right out in the open because I remember Niram grabbed it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about the term instant, but it was pretty quick. It wasn't like the play-in race where the Hammer Shrine was right inside the door. That was pretty interesting. So yeah, all of this time investment right now is helping Niram catch up, which would be really great. Just to we want the. We want
the closest race possible, and we also want a third race, a third final race.
Yeah, if I had my wish, Niram would win this, and it would come down to Dark Link.
Always down to the Dark Link.
That would please me. But yeah, we're speculating now on Niram being here in what is this, Palace 6?
This is Palace 6.
Yeah, taking lefts, which maybe is not necessary. Wondering what...
Jake finally finds the Hammer Cave, so he won't be too far behind. So Niram is running on a timer here to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dig Shake has already mapped out most of Palace 4, I believe, and Niram has not even touched Palace 5. And Palace 5 did take Dig Shake a long time.
It took forever.
Yeah.
Oh, so
barely caught on the edge there.
Nirm fought a Rebanak, which was causing the chat to wonder why he was doing additional exploration. So he's still just doing regular exploration to get out of here. This I don't think is interpreted as looking for an item or something. Oh my god!
Oh, Nirm may be.
Yeah, this is called the bent glass tube in room in some circles. It's a room where you can die a whole lot by these dumb unicorn heads, and
You have to be careful in here.
you have to be careful. And the faster you go, the more likely you're just going to get knocked into the lava. There is a pretty cute technique that people do where they kind of manipulate the enemies to like chase you from behind instead.
And it depends on which direction you're facing and where you are on the screen from where they spawn. But yeah, it does help if you can make those jumps, but it also depends on which enemies are on the steps. So.
All right, so Digshake is now making progress. Nirm, I think, is closing in on Barba. I'm starting to recognize these rooms. But man, yeah, P5 is going to be a killer. But I mean, Digshake has to go into P4. So
first, he's going. Well, I'm not sure if he's going to find P4 first or Mido, but I believe Mido was to the north, and this is it, right?
Well, he has to find Mido because he can't go into P4 without the reflex ball. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, silly me.
Oh, it has to do with the direction the screen was last scrolled. Okay, that'd be a useful thing to learn. There's so much tech that I think the community has learned from having so many streamed races. Just more eyes on the game. We're learning stuff all the time. You know, even experienced players are finding out just like small minutia.
Look at that jackhammer on Barba, the double jackhammer.
Yeah. Oh, if he'd gotten that last hit.
I was worried he was going to fall in the lava because I'm just thinking he's on his last life right now. I know he did die in here at least once. Maybe he's got another.
I mean, I wouldn't do the jackhammer anyway, but I definitely wouldn't do it on my last life. It's just too easy to die. So
with the jackhammer, you can get about 12 hits for each cycle or something like that. Without it, you can get about 8 hits. It does give you the extra 4 hits each time you do that. It saves a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's just super risky. So what he's doing is, when you're in downstab, you can do something called the jackhammer, which is every time you press down, your sword is flashing. And so it's 1 frame on, 1 frame off if you can mash it at 30 hertz. But no one can actually do that. But it definitely is a really, really fast way of some people mash, some people like rock their thumb back and forth, but as many times as you can hit the down button, that's how many times you're going to hit. And if you're on top of Barba, you'll stay on top of Barba.
And while you're doing that, you also have to balance Link by moving him left and right so he doesn't fall off the enemy into the lava, into the ground, or wherever. You want to stay centered on top of them.
Yeah, and you kind of have to count your hits, which is really hard to do in Randomizer because you don't know how much your attack is doing, how much HP the Barba started with. But at least in all keys, you know exactly how many hits, and so you can start veering off at the end because once Barba dies, it's no longer a surface that you can the pogo on, and you're just going to fall into the lava. So it's even a bit riskier, I think, in Randomizer.
So I'm worried that this Palace 5 is also going to take Nirm a long time. Digshake did avoid a few lefts while trying to find the item and the boss at the same time, and it turned out he had to go down an elevator and take a few lefts before going up and then right to Guma. So Nirm might be just taking all the rights, and he could go full explore the full palace just as Dig did the first time he was through here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no guarantee because of how close the item and Guma were that he's gonna pick up time in here. And it's a little scary that Digshake just... so he's avoiding that whole left thread down there, so maybe this is really good. Digshake found Karok inside Palace 4 very, very quickly.
I believe Nirm has to go down this elevator and not take the right. He has to pass one of the elevator's rights.
Okay.
And yeah, he does not want to go right here. I believe down takes him to the boss.
Yeah, I mean,
so we'll
he
see
has
how
to
long
go.
This takes him. Well, to him, he knows he has to go to the right here.
Yeah. So he's making the right choice given what he knows and doesn't know. But hey, at 117, we have
our first entrant into the Great Palace. Is this? No, this is a purple palace, dark purple.
Okay, so at least like this path was a pretty quick dead end. All right, so Great Palace. When every other stage of the tournament, they had a setting called Shortened Great Palace was in effect, which means that the randomizer takes all of the rooms and then it chooses how many rooms it's going to remove, which I think is something like 10 to 15 rooms. Like it's a pretty significant number. It randomly picks to remove certain rooms and then starts taking out rooms that have exactly 2 exits on it. So that way it's removing rooms that don't have multiple choice alternatives, because the randomizer wants to keep as many decisions in Great Palace while just removing some of the fluff. That is no longer, it can be, am I right, 25 to 50% less rooms? Is that
I believe in Vanilla Great Palace, there can be around 27 to 30-ish rooms. In Full Great Palace, now they're looking at about 57, 58 rooms or something like that.
So it's a lot of exploration. So this is going to take a while. And when you have that much exploration, your resource management is going to be important, because you still have to have enough magic to cast Thunder when you get to Thunderbird.
Now, there are plenty of magic jars and fairies hidden throughout the Great Palace. It's hard to know exactly which room they're in. Many of the rooms look identical, but some of the rooms are in detours to find them.
Oh,
but we do have the Thunderbird early on for Dig Shake.
So now the other requirement of Great Palace is that you have to defeat Thunderbird before killing Dark Link and finishing the game. So
before you can take the path to Dark Link, unless you try glitching, which is against the rules, but yes, Dark Link will always be after Thunderbird.
Yeah, but finding Thunderbird early, it doesn't give you nearly as much information, because basically everything in the palace is after Thunderbird now.
But finding Thunderbird early in Full Great Palace is good, because if you're in a long Great Palace, you find Thunderbird all the way at the very end of a long route, you might not have any life or magic left to cast Thunder and kill him.
Yeah, so
at least now you've eliminated that cost, so he can spend his magic however he wants now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe save a little bit for a rainy day, but he knows he doesn't have to cast Thunder again. Some people, even when they find Thunderbird so early, they will take an up A just to get everything back, because, I mean, right now, Dig Shake has 0 magic, basically. So that's an option, but Dig Shake's playing for keeps, so he's going to continue to go, maybe knowing that at some point he's going to up A anyway, once he finds a dead end. But it definitely, you do get less information.
He'll go until he dies.
You don't think that Dig Shake might find a long dead end and then up A?
Wow. Okay, that's possible too if he takes a really long dead end.
Yeah. Niram is still exploring Palace 5. Taking left, probably because confirmed that right is a dead end. There's nothing that he could need right now. He just needs to find Guma and get out of here.
And all Dig Shake needs to find is a single room containing Dark Link. Could be anywhere in the dungeon right now after Thunderbird. Any single room could pop up the final room.
Yeah, just because it's Full Great Palace doesn't mean that, Dark Link's gonna be super hard to find. But actually, I don't know exactly how the randomizer places Dark Link. I feel that if you have
in relation to drops, I usually I find them after a drop or something like that, but it's hard to tell sometimes. I like to find them after these C rooms that Dig Shake is going through right now. Like, he could be right here in the next room.
Oh, we see these bonefish that. Here's the Eon drop.
First choice.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to style. Well, he has to cast Fairy anyway. Nah, he's gonna do the smart thing and go to the right and actually see if Dark Link is here before taking the drop. But this is a choice that. Oh well, it's not much of a choice. But let's say that there was a very long path of exploration to the right there, and let's say Niram thought he was behind and came in and just took the drop immediately. Like that's a place where someone who comes into Great Palace after the leader could potentially make up a bunch of time. Enchanters of Numbers, hello. Always take the Eon drop. That's my advice.
So that drop has to either lead Digshake to the entrance of the dungeon or to Dark Link. It could take him to. There could be a path to both, but it's possible that Dark Link can only be connected by a drop.
So this is why we need the glove. There's almost no chance in the world that you could get through Great Palace, especially a full Great Palace, without having the glove, because there's so many of these waffle rooms.
And people have done enough seeds to Psycho to prove us wrong that at one point there will be a gloveless large Great Palace, but good luck trying to find one.
Yeah. All right, pretty quick work of Guma there. Attack 7, putting in the work. I think a minute ago we saw a whole bunch of bullets on Digshake's screen, which is worth noting. When Digshake was looking through the code, Digshake, who was in the race, created this randomizer. He found that bullets were available in the Great Palace, but they were just not used in the vanilla game. So he put them in. There's both horizontal and vertical bullets, and if the room decides to use both, they go diagonally. And it gets pretty crazy. So you can see here we have horizontal bullets, plus these bonefish are spitting fireballs that look like bubbles because of Digshake's choice to use randomized beam sprites.
Now, Digshake's lifestyle is pretty cheap, which is keeping him alive without losing a lot of lives right now. Niram would probably need him to take a game over at some point in order to get ahead. But Digshake doesn't look like he's going to take any game overs unless he takes a bad dead end somewhere.
Yeah, which would be, giving up the lead to Niram right now, who I think is 10 minutes behind. Oh no, 7 minutes, 13 seconds?
It was at 118, I believe Digshake came into here.
Oh, I thought it was 14. Okay, so yeah. So not super far behind, but, it's he is behind. Gonna have to go fast. Levels are the same except for one attack level, which I don't think is gonna amount to much of anything here. Digshake has the shield spell, but I think it's not going to be a huge difference maker. Oh gosh, Niram in just the suckiest room right now. These rooms are sometimes called fun rooms, where there's bridges with open pits into lava, and then enemies flying at you from both directions, and a whole bunch of bullets. Oh, and then a pincer attack of Bird Knights here. The Thunder Spell, not enough damage to kill that blue Bird Knight.
But if he gets through to the other side of this room, I believe there is a magic jar possibility in one of the blocks, because this blue knight was on the left side of the elevator.
Oh, is that how we tell?
I believe there are 2 rooms like this, but one of them does have the jar. And it could also have a Buzz Thunder in one of them too, one of the giant blob enemies. So the jar in the center there might be a jar in the center honeycomb here. Oh, there's the Buzz.
Yep.
He might just want to get to the next screen.
Yeah, because
he's got to be really careful from this guy.
If he dies on this screen, then he's lost about a minute, and then still have to go through. So,
he might go back for that jar right now. Nope, he's going to keep pressing forward.
Niram doing the Thunderbird fight right now. If we didn't talk about it earlier, you cast Thunder, which unshrouds Thunderbird's face and allows Thunderbird to be stabbed. People use a lot of different techniques to be able to fight Thunderbird, but generally getting Thunderbird into a pendulum swing and just stabbing off this dais is the safest way to do it.
Interesting note, you can't really upstab Thunderbird, so a lot of people try doing that, only to their detriment. You have to actually do a neutral jump strike or something like that, side strike to him.
Just some general exploration here. The name of the game is go right, and when you can't go right, you go up and down. And if you
Honestly,
can't
there could have been like a single right close early on in the dungeon, which Dig Shake passed up, which Nier might take at some point, but right now, they look like they're going the same way.
I mean, they probably will. I mean, at the highest levels, the players know what is the generally best accepted, practices.
But both players know right now that Dark Link could be a single room away, so they all feel they're really close to winning this.
Okay, so Nirm's gonna have to take a death here to be able to ferry over this ledge, and then I believe there's some lava as well. Dig Shake out of magic. I don't know what his life count is right now. He doesn't have much life, and he doesn't have much.
He almost died in that Buzz Thunder room. Was able to cast life to restore himself, so he does have another life, I believe.
Okay.
And I think he just realized he got caught in a loop, so he might be a bit confused as to where he is and where he has to go right now.
Oh, so you can see the on Nirm's screen, when you're a fairy, you have to actually press down and then make the elevator move down slightly before you can go up. You can't, like, the fairy's head
You have
won't
to send yourself into the elevator.
That's something that's a little confusing when you first start playing the randomizer.
Yeah, don't try to go up the elevator without the elevator. You can just go up with the fairy, and then you get stuck. I hope that.
Nirm, take the drop. Just do it. Just do it. You cast the fairy.
Well, it was a single room to the right, so this will set his mind at ease. It's not like there was a detour here.
Yeah, I wanted to gain information about Nirm's state of mind. And if he took the drop without checking, that gives us information.
In Nirm's race against me, he just, I think he thought he was behind, and he just took a random up elevator, which ended up costing him one of his races against me.
Oh.
Or if he would have just went straight to the right from the entrance to the dungeon, he could have went right to Dark Link. So after making that decision, mistake once, he's probably going to go very orthodox through the rest of this because he doesn't want to make that again.
Good knowledge about player history there.
Well, that was the race against me.
Sure, but I think that like we've all picked up little bits of information about how players like to play. And, there's a lot of accepted best strats, but then, everyone kind of puts their own slant on it, and you can, recognize someone's play.
So I'm going to make a guess that Dark Link is right here on Dig Shake's screen. Oh, after this room. Okay. We've seen this room a few times right before Dark Link. I had one of these in one of my races, but I think he's very close by.
Yeah, although in their last race, Nirm and Dig Shake, it seemed like the randomizer was just generating brand new rooms at some point because I kept thinking we were out of rooms, and then there was way more rooms. Like Great Palace is humongous.
Counting rooms is difficult when it's a full GP.
Yeah. Because sometimes you're on a loop and you don't even know it for a little while. Then you have to start subtracting some of those
Yeah, I guess I was wrong. I'm not sure where Dark Link is then. He could be just like a random up elevator they missed in the dungeon somewhere.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because there's so many rooms and only some of them are very distinctive, it's hard. I'm having a hard time telling where Nirm is compared to Dig Shake at this point.
But we haven't seen any branches since Dig Shake took that last drop, so this could be a straight line to Dark Link.
Seeing all of these bullets, these horizontal bullets. Oh my goodness. So it looks like...
Alright, chat. Your GG's. He's not going to take a death here.
It'd be very, very difficult for Dark Link to be able to...
I think Dig Shake would just forfeit both matches of the tournament if he lost to Dark Link right here.
Yeah, so we're looking at the 2-0 Grand Finals winner of the Zelda 2 Randomizer tournament, Dig Shake, finishing at about 132.38 on his timer.
Copy
And
that.
congratulations, that's just like really, really well done. Dig Shake played really well on this, and I think, to not take any credit away from
the only thing that he did wrong was pull out of Death Mountain early. He very thoroughly investigated the whole world. My mistake was I tried to pass up and just kind of go through too quickly without checking everything, but he grabbed everything in the game almost under 130, completed on the whole GP. Very fast time considering he got every single item.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he did very, very well, and I think that it was more about Niram making some questionable decisions, and then just Dig Shake playing it perfectly. Dig Shake, is that you in the call?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Oh,
Congratulations on your win.
Thanks. I'm kind of surprised actually, but wow, it feels great.
Yeah, I mean, you really you played your butt off, and I think that when you watch the VOD, you'll see how your methodical and thorough exploration of the overworld compared to Niram, I think maybe trying to jump ahead and do some things like out of order, or just happening to miss a couple P-Dag caves on the east, set him back finding the glove and the fairy and a whole bunch of stuff for a long time.
Yeah, and you were very thorough going through everything, except for the Death Mountain the very first time that you went into there, but everything else you cleared and didn't have to go back.
Yeah, Death Mountain is what scared me. Once I realized that I needed the medicine and it was in there, I was like, oh boy. Niram's probably going to check Death Mountain before Palace 5 and Palace 6, so...
There was a moment where you were Glove and Fairy, Thunder, a lot of things ahead of Niram, and he decided to go into Death Mountain, and he ended up finding the Reflect spell, medicine. And so we were wondering about how much that would play into the race.
It caught him up a bit, but it didn't... It wasn't the game changer that he really needed it to be, because by that point, you had already really busted out on a lead. And I think that, he had some palaces that were slightly faster, but like Palace 5, he still had to go.
Both of you almost full cleared that palace.
Yeah, that was a crappy palace.
But if it hadn't been, then that really that could have made the difference, because I think he came in. I think we saw.
He had everything. He had just 2 gems left to find when he had all the items. You were exploring Death Mountain with only Palace 4 left to find at one point in the race. You entered about, what was it, the Great Palace 10 minutes before Niram, but it was still pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, that GP was no walk in the park either. Holy moly.
Yeah, I think you got caught in 2 loops during that GP. We were trying to count rooms or try to figure out where you were and where you haven't been.
I only remembered 1 loop, but there were definitely some rooms in there that gave me some pretty big deja vu. They looked very similar. I don't know. Maybe I looped and I didn't even realize it. I have no idea.
I just remember seeing that blue moa at the end of the lava bridge screen 5 times.
Yeah, that's what tipped me off on the loop. I don't know how many times I did it before I realized it, but that's what tipped me off, was that moa.
You also didn't take a game over in that Great Palace. I think you almost fully cleared it, and on your basic 3 light, did you find the little Dig Shake in there?
No, I didn't find it. I think I know where it probably was, though. I have some ideas.
There were a few moments where you came very close to dying and just barely scraped out a magic jar container and kept going without losing that second life of yours.
Yeah, but my levels were so insane. Going into GP with 667 feels like a luxury to me on these flags, so I was not really concerned about that too much.
If you had taken a game over there, though, Niram could have potentially taken the lead, but were you happy to find Thunderbird early so you could clear him?
I actually usually am happy to find Thunderbird early, because if you want a quick Great Palace, Thunderbird's got to be early. So
Because we're talking about the last thing you want to find in a full Great Palace is Thunderbird at the end when you don't have any thunder or magic left.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes people a little thrifty going through Great Palace, which can end up costing you lives. Like, you don't want to cast a life spell or shield spell because you're reserving magic for Thunderbird, but then you end up taking a death anyway. It can be just a little bit of nervousness and hesitation that you don't want in Great Palace. But you're right. So looks like Nirm did loop around because he's back in the fairy room. I think for me, it's this palace being so dark, it feels kind of oppressive and makes it feel more difficult.
That purple gave it a bit of an ominous, eerie color.
I liked the purple. I thought it was great.
It's lovely, but it also makes it feel more difficult to me for some reason. Just because of the darkness. But Dick Shake, what are you going to do with your trophy now that you've won the randomizer tournament?
Wait, there's a trophy?
Oh, absolutely! It's gorgeous, and it's made of chocolate and gold foil. And
if I would have known that.
I don't know, honestly. I'm still processing the win right now.
Now you were already dusting the mantle where you're going to be putting the trophy. Don't lie. You knew you had this.
No, that's really not true though. Like with the race last time that I did not deserve to win. And he got taken out by Unos in the last tournament, so maybe he would have thought that he would have been runner-up again here, so... Yeah, it was definitely on my mind.
Well, there's sports teams that get a reputation for being able to, make it to the playoffs or make it to the World Series or whatever, but, they never clinch it. So I can see that being a worry that you, for whatever reason, have difficulty in grand finals. But your play, except for needing to go back to Death Mountain and that causing you to do more palaces, your first half of the game was immaculate. It was very strong. And,
I don't remember you taking a single game over anywhere. Nirm took a few unfortunate deaths early on, but you played very well.
No, I was pretty happy all around. In fact, even knowing that the medicine's in Death Mountain, I don't feel like it was a bad way to route that seed, saving Death Mountain for last.
Because you went into Death Mountain, found the Hammer Cave, Spectacle Rock. You immediately took the item, and we were talking about how you're just going to grab the medicine right there, and we were about to chalk up the race to you, but you instantly up 8 and left.
Yeah, well, I had the what did I have? I had the kid.
You had the kid, so you're going to go to the east to check to see what you're going to get.
And I had 7 magic containers, so I could check that one. And while I was over there doing that stuff, I found the last magic container. So I checked all 3 of those spots, and none of them worked out for me.
So we were trying to wonder what kind of face you made when you found that fire spell in the last town before having to go back.
It was mostly confusion at that point because I had to decide whether to do 5, 6, or Death Mountain.
Go back to 4, I believe.
Or 4, yeah, 4. I already got 6 by that time.
Yeah, you're right that it wasn't given what the resources that you had and where things could be, leaving Death Mountain, even though you were there, was a pretty safe move because, chances are you had what you needed anyway. But it did, us already knowing where that spell was, we could see that this is something that he made a decision that will cost him time in the long run. But really, your early exploration is what gave you such a good lead over.
Yeah, when I found the boots and the glove, pretty early on, I figured that I was either way ahead or Nirm had done the exact same thing. I knew I wasn't behind at that point, so.
Yeah, he ended up going to New Kasuto without enough magic containers for the item out of there, and without enough magic containers to get one of the spells that he needed, I think. And so he didn't have.
He missed a few items on the west and the east. First, he missed both heart containers on the easy west cave at the beginning, and he missed the heart container on the desert towel. So he was running through most of the game, or a bit of the game, with 3 heart containers. And then he ended up missing the jump spell, so he played through for the very first hour of the game, 1 hour before he ended up even getting the down stab.
Yo,
Yeah.
Niram's in the chat while he's playing. Are you looking for directions in this GP, man?
Niram has found a
Yes,
little dig.
holy crap.
Yeah, this palace sucks.
Let's see. You want to go when you land in the flat drop room? You know the one I'm talking about.
No.
The very flat drop room.
The one with jars?
No. So like you fall through a pit and you land in a room that's totally flat, right?
And you can go
Okay,
left and right.
Yeah.
And you can go left and right. Yeah.
Mhm.
You just want to go straight left, and then you'll take a drop and it'll take you right there.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, once you found that the left room drop, it just took you in a straight line right to Dark Link.
Yep. Or maybe back up to the Jackamus room and then left. It's definitely somewhere in that general area.
It's definitely not the Jackamus room. That's where I've been doing laps for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah,
this
well done, sir. Congratulations, Dig Shake.
Yeah, thanks, man.
do you want us to talk a little bit about your race, or do you have comments on how you feel like the race has gone, Niram?
So I thought I was gonna lose this one. I didn't play the start well at all. I pretty much knew from the get-go, just based on how the start went, that I probably wasn't gonna win this one. And then I thought I might have a chance when I got the boots out of Maze Island pretty quickly, and then I went to Water Tile and found the magic key. But I made too many mistakes after that as well to really maintain a lead, I feel.
When you found the medicine in Death Mountain, we thought you were actually catching up, or you could possibly have the lead at that point on Dig Shake. He had almost everything but the medicine and the reflect spell, but he was going around grabbing every single item, and he 100%ed the seed, I believe, before he found that.
Yeah, I think I did. It was pretty close anyway.
But Niram, I mean, you are right that like at the beginning is kind of what gave Dig Shake his lead, because like when he went into New Kasuto, he had enough items to get he had enough containers to get the item out of there, and then I think he was able to get a spell that you couldn't get.
Jumps? No, it was in the Fire Town at Naburu. Dig Shake got jump, which got him the downstab. Niram went the whole hour of the first race without a downstab.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, there was an early lead that just because of like overworld exploration, Dig Shake kind of broke out into a lead. But there was definitely the chance when Dig Shake had to 100% everything and then go to Death Mountain, and you'd already had the Reflect spell. I think that gave you a little bit of freedom to move faster through the seed.
You were both in Maze Island at the exact same time.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that there was one point where you were pretty much tied with Dig Shake, minus 2 heart containers. You were in Death Mountain at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like if Dig Shake had everything by the time I was in Death Mountain, then he blew me away this seed, and it probably wasn't even close.
Oh, did I say Death? I meant to say Maze Island. My mistake. You went into Maze Island at the exact same time together. You only missed the heart in the west and the heart in the desert tile before that, so we were still saying it was an equal race, even though you were missing. You only had 3 heart containers to his 5.
But you only
came half an hour in.
Like you came into the Great Palace either 6 or 8 minutes behind, so not much. Like really not much.
You caught up pretty well. Like there was a point where we thought Dig Shake was about 10 or 15 minutes ahead, and him having to go back to find the medicine really allowed you to catch up a lot.
Yeah. I thought that medicine was going to cost me the race.
Yeah, I mean, it could have.
It definitely could have. If I didn't have to go back and grab that medicine, holy moly, this seed would have been done 20 minutes ago.
That would have been a blowout. But luckily for the competitiveness of it, that wasn't the case. There was some good twists and turns in it, and I think that we could tell from the things that I mean, Niram doing the no downstab Rebanak, like you guys were playing at a high level, and it really just came down to exploration. And I think that really shows off kind of the beauty of the randomizer of how many choices you have to make, and how learning good choices is what's going to help you do really well. But even when you do make good choices, just finding things in one order or another can make or break a race. So it keeps things really competitive and really interesting, and I encourage everyone to try it out.
Yeah. If I might, since this is the last race of the tournament, just take a moment to thank all of the people who helped out. There were so many people helping out with this tournament, both in commentary and restreams, and of course all the participants. I believe we had
36.
36 participants in this tournament. All the people who came out to watch the races. This has just been such a great community effort, and thank all of you, Joshy D and Kulain. Thank you guys for commentary tonight. Nirm has actually been pulling crazy stuff. He made that play-in race happen, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
So big shout outs to Nirm, and he did a bunch of restreams and commentary on top of that. So I can't name everybody, of course. There's too many people to name, but
let's not forget to most important here, Dick Shake, the creator of the randomizer. We wouldn't even be able to play this without you, Dick Shake.
Yeah.
So, big round of applause for all the work that you've put into this.
Thanks. Well, I appreciate that, but really, it means more to me that you guys are playing and hanging out. I'm still blown away that even this many people care about it. So that really means a lot to me. The fact that we can even put on one of these tournaments is amazing.
Yeah,
So.
and can I thank Speed Gaming for giving us a platform to showcase this in front of, most of the tournament was played basically for people in the community, by the community, and being able to put these on a high profile channel, increasing exposure, bringing people into it, and showcasing what a miraculously fun game this is, and just the community spirit. It's been great to share it with a broader audience. So thank you, Feasel and Speed Gaming for and Speedrun's live page and Randomizer Mania, some of these bigger pages. I really appreciate them giving us a platform.
Yeah, very much. Agreed.
Yeah, the tournament was a lot of fun. I'm happy to have made it as far as I did. I ran into some tough competition on my way to getting here. Kulain was.
Next tournament, I'm coming for you, Nirm. Next tournament, Documents is on my list. You're on my list next tournament, Nirm.
It's on. I got Dig Shake on my list.
Yeah, I think I'm on everybody's list.
Yeah, he bought me twice. Not over yet. You hope you choke on your chocolate trophy.
Wow.
Dang.
I thought we were friends.
This has been so great. I'm so glad to have met so many cool people in the Zelda 2 randomizer community. If there's a link to the Discord, and we do want to and tell people like where to find us and get information about the randomizer and a way to find races. I think that there's no harm in bringing more people into the community and getting more people playing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And there certainly will be another tournament happening. I don't know when, sometime in the future. I think we need to take some time off, but
oh man, next week, let's do it. Get right back in.
It'll take some time to polish the game. We'll wait for version 5 or 4.0, however long it takes.
Yeah.
All swamp, all the
progress.
Yeah.
It's in progress, so maybe by the end of the year I can get another version out. We'll see.
Cool. All right. Well, let's turn this channel back over to Speed Gaming, because I think they have more tournaments to go. There's always something good on this channel. In particular, I love the Chase the Record show that Speed Gaming has. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's what I think the future of gaming should be. It's the best show.
It's the future of television in general. We're replacing television.
Yes, I sure hope so. All right. Any parting words?
No, I'm good. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
All right. Take care, everybody.
See ya.
Care and see you next time.